Hi, everybody. How are we doing today? I am so excited to be here today. I love the book that we're going to read today. It's one of my favorites from when I was a kid. Today is Monday, July 20th. This is the 10:30 reading, and we have another one today at 12:30. But this is, let's see, we're coming to the end of our storybook readings. Hi, how are you? We're coming to the end of our storybook readings now, so we have about 3 weeks left to read. And I'm going to wait just a few minutes. I think I've got some more people joining us. There's Miss Jenna. Hello. All right. So I'm excited to read this book with you today. Like I said, we'll read the book and then we have a short activity to do at the end because this book's a little bit longer. So we can go right ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you my book. Here is part of the book. Do you see? Ta-da! So this book is called A Bad Case of Stripes. So that is the title. It's right in the middle. It's in big letters. A Bad Case of Stripes. And the author is David Shannon. That means he wrote this book. Miss Jenna, I love this book too. It's one of my absolute favorites. All right, so let's open up the page. There's that title again. A Bad Case of Stripes. Remember, the title is really big, and that means what the book is called. And then here's the author again, David Shannon. That means he wrote this book. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what's going to happen in this book. Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she never ate them. All of her friends hated lima beans, and she wanted to fit in. Camilla was always worried about what other people thought of her. Can we see the book okay? There we go. Today, she was fretting even more. It was the first day of school, and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits, but none seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror. Then she screamed. Good morning, Miss Krista. Her mother ran into the room and she screamed too. Oh, my heavens, she cried. You're completely covered with stripes. This was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to toe. She looked like a rainbow. Oh my goodness, do you see her? She looks like a rainbow. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Mrs. Cream felt Camilla's forehead. Do you feel all right? She asked. I feel fine, Camilla answered. But just look at me. You get back to bed this instant, her mother ordered. You are not going to school today. Camilla was relieved, but she didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid what the other kids would say. And she had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes. Look at her stripes. Oh my goodness. That afternoon, Dr. Bumble came to examine Camilla. Most extraordinary, he exclaimed. I've never seen anything like it. Are you having any coughing, sneezing, runny nose, aches, pains, chills, hot flashes, dizziness, shortness of breath, or uncontrollable twitching? No, Camilla told him. I feel fine. Well, then, Dr. Bumble said, turning to Mrs. Cream, I don't see any reason why she shouldn't go to school tomorrow. Here's some ointment that should help clear up those stripes in a few days. If it doesn't, you know where to reach me. And off he went. The next day was a disaster. Everyone at school laughed at Camilla. They called her Camilla Crayon and Night of the Living Lollipop. She tried her best to act as if everything were normal. But when the class said the Pledge of Allegiance, her stripes turned red, white, and blue, and she broke out in stars. Oh my goodness, guys, what does she look like? Do you see her? What does she look like? She looks like a flag. You're right. Oh my goodness. The other kids thought this was great. One yelled out, let's see some purple polka dots. Sure enough, Camilla turned all purple polka dotty. Someone else shouted, checkerboard! And a pattern of squares covered her skin. And soon, everyone was calling out different shapes and colors, and poor Camilla was changing faster than you can change channels on a TV. Oh no, look at her arms and her face. She has so many different colors. I know, poor girl. That night, Mr. Harms, the school principal, called. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cream, he said. I'm going to have to ask you to keep Camilla home from school. She's just too much of a distraction, and I've been getting calls from the other parents. They are afraid those stripes may be contagious. Camilla was so embarrassed. She couldn't believe that 2 days ago, everyone liked her. Now, nobody wanted to be in the same room with her. Her father tried to make her feel better. Is there anything I can get you, sweetheart? He asked. No, thank you, sighed Camilla. But what she really wanted was a nice plate of lima beans. But she had been laughed at enough for one day. Oh no. What in the world is going on? Look at this page. Yikes. Let's read and see what's happening. Well, yes, I see, Dr. Bumble mumbled when Mr. Cream phoned the next day. I think I'd better bring in the specialists. We'll be right over. About an hour later, Dr. Bumble arrived with 4 people in long white coats. He introduced them to the Creams. This is Dr. Grop, Dr. Sponge, Dr. Cricket, and Dr. Young. Then the specialists went to work on Camilla. They squeezed and jabbed, tapped, and tested. It was very uncomfortable. Well, it's not the mumps, concluded Dr. Grop. Or the measles, said Dr. Sponge. Definitely not chicken pox, put in Dr. Cricket. Or sunburn, said Dr. Young. Try these, said the specialists. They each handed her a bottle filled with different color pills. Take 1 of each before bed, said Dr. Grop. Then they filed out the front door, followed by Dr. Bumble. Oh my goodness, all of these doctors, they're poking all over her, taking her temperature, testing her reflexes, looking in her eyes, checking her heartbeat. Wow. Oh my goodness. That night, Camilla took her medicine. It was awful. When she woke up the next morning, she did feel different. But when she got dressed, her clothes didn't fit right. She looked in the mirror, and there, staring back at her, was a giant, multicolored pill with her face on it. Oh, goodness. She turned into the pill. Those doctors all gave her a bunch of pills, and she turned into the pills. Yikes! Dr. Bumble rushed over as soon as Mrs. Cream called. But this time, instead of the specialists, he brought the experts. Dr. Gourd and Mr. Mellon were the finest scientific minds in the land. Once again, Camilla was poked and prodded, looked at and listened to. The experts wrote down lots of numbers, then they huddled together and whispered. Dr. Gourd finally spoke. It might be a virus, he announced. Suddenly, fuzzy little virus balls appeared all over Camilla. Look, fuzzy virus balls. Oh no. Or possibly some form of bacteria, Mr. Mellon shouted, and out popped squiggly little bacteria tails. Oh no. Or it could be a fungus, added Dr. Gourd. Instantly, Camilla was covered with different colored fungus blotches. Look, there's some red and yellow and purple. Yellow, purple, green. Oh no. The experts looked at Camilla, then back at each other. We need to go over these numbers again. Back at the lab, Dr. Gourd explained. We'll call you when we know something. But the experts didn't have a clue, much less a cure. Oh my goodness. Look at that crowd of people. Oh, look, he has a microphone and she does too. And there's a camera. By now, the TV news had found out about Camilla. Reporters from every channel were outside her house, telling the story of the bizarre case of the incredible changing kid. Soon, a huge crowd was camped out on the front lawn. Oh no, guys. What is going on? What's going on here? Do you see all the cameras? Why do you think there's cameras and reporters? What do you think they want? Oh yeah, maybe they want to talk to Camilla and see why she's changing colors. Maybe they want to talk to her parents. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Look at her. Poor girl. The Creams. Yeah, they want to talk to her and take pictures. Yeah, maybe. Record her. The Creams were swamped with all kinds of remedies from psychologists, allergists, herbalists, nutritionists, and psychics, an old medicine man, a guru, and even a veterinarian. Okay, stay right there. You can listen to the book. I want to sit on your lap. You can't sit on my lap. I'm in the middle of the recording. You can sit right there and look at the book. I don't want to. Stay right there, please. Mommy, please, I want to sit. Each so-called cure only added to poor Camilla's strange appearance until it was hard to even recognize her. She sprouted roots and berries and crystals and feathers and a long, furry tail. but nothing worked. Look! Yikes! Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
One day, a woman who called herself an environmental therapist claimed she could cure Camilla. Close your eyes, she said. Breathe deeply and become one with your room. Uh-oh. Look at this picture. What do you think happened when they told her that? Take a guess. What do you think happened? I wish you hadn't said that, Camilla groaned. Slowly, she started to melt into the walls of her room. Her bed became her mouth. Her nose was a dresser, and two paintings were her eyes. The therapist screamed, "Ah!" and ran from the house. "What are we going to do?" cried Mrs. Cream. "It just keeps getting worse and worse." She began to sob. Aw, what does that mean? She began to sob. Look at her parents. Here's Camilla's eyes, her nose, and her mouth. And there's her poor parents. Oh, they're scared. They don't know what is wrong. They're kind of sad. They're crying. Yeah, that's what sob means. You're right. They're crying. Poor guys. Okay. At that moment, Mr. Cream heard a quiet little knock at the front door. He opened it, and there stood an old woman who was just as plump and as sweet as a strawberry. "Excuse me," she said brightly, "but I think I can help." Ooh, look at this little old lady. What do you think she's got in her bag? She says that she can help Camilla. What do you think she has in her bag that's going to help Camilla? I don't know. Do you have a guess? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe medicine or maybe something that's going to help her. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe medicine. Look at this. There's her eyes and her nose and her mouth again. Yeah, hopefully no more pills. There's the old woman. She's putting something in her mouth. Let's see what it is. She went into Camilla's room and looked around. "My goodness," she said with a shake of her head. "What we have here is a bad case of stripes. One of the worst I've ever seen." She pulled a container of small green beans from her bag. "Here," she said. "These might do the trick."
Can I start?
No, we gotta stay like this. You can see the book. "These might do the trick." Ooh, what kind of beans do you think they are? She's putting beans in her mouth. What kind of beans do you think they are?
I don't know.
They're green beans.
I don't like green beans.
Yeah, well, let's see if Camilla likes them. She says, "Oh, Miss Jenna, you're right. She wanted lima beans earlier. Let's see what kind of beans they are." "Are those magic beans?" asked Mrs. Cream. "Oh my, no," replied the kind old woman. "There's no such thing. These are just plain old lima beans." I'll bet you'd like some, wouldn't you? She asked Camilla. Miss Jenna, you were right. They are lima beans. Camilla wanted a big, heaping plateful of lima beans more than just about anything. But she was still afraid to admit it. Yuck, she said. No one likes lima beans, especially me. Oh dear, the old woman said sadly. I guess I was wrong about you. She put the beans back in her bag and started toward the door. Camilla watched the old woman walk away. Those beans would taste so good. And being laughed at for eating them was nothing compared to what she'd been going through. She finally couldn't stand it. Wait, she cried. The truth is, I really love lima beans. I thought so, the old woman said with a smile. She took a handful of beans and popped them into Camilla's mouth. Mmm, said Camilla. Look, she's eating the lima beans. She put the lima beans in her mouth. Suddenly, the branches, feathers, and squiggly tails began to disappear. Then the whole room swirled around. When it stopped, there stood Camilla, and everything was back to normal. Look at her! All of the colors are swirling away. There goes the branches. There goes the checkers and the stars and stripes. I'm cured! She shouted. Yes, said the old woman. I knew the real you was in there somewhere. She patted Camilla on the head. Then she went outside and vanished into the crowd. Wow, guys. Oh, maybe the beans were magic. Stop pushing me. I think that they were just lima beans, but they cured Camilla because she remembered that she wanted lima beans and she could be herself. All right, let's see. There's the last page. What's going to happen now? Afterward, Camilla wasn't quite the same. Some of the kids at school said she was weird, but she didn't care a bit. She ate all the lima beans she wanted, and she never had even a touch of stripes again. Look, what is she eating? What is she eating?
Lima beans.
Lima beans! Yeah, she wanted lima beans. Good job! See, I love that story. That's one of my favorite stories. So really quick.
I don't like it.
So really quick, let's answer these questions before we go because we're almost done. So I have something called cause and effect. So there are things in the story that happened because of something else. So the cause is Camilla wanted to fit in with her friends. So what happened because she wanted to fit in with her friends? I think she didn't eat the lima beans. She didn't eat lima beans because she wanted to fit in with her friends. So that's the effect. So now let's see. Effect. Here's another one. This one has the effect, and we have to figure out the cause. So the effect is her stripes turned red, white, and blue, and she broke out in stars. Why did her stripes turn red, white, and blue? And broke out in stars? Yeah, it's because she was trying her best to act like everything was normal. So she was acting like everything was normal. So she was not being herself. Okay, let's see. Here's a cause. The specialist gave her a bottle of different colored pills. What happened when he gave her the bottle of pills? Do you remember? Can you help me? The specialist gave her a bottle of different colored pills. So what happened? What happened when they gave her that bottle of pills? Do you remember? What do you think? Yes, exactly, Miss Jenna. That's right. They gave her the big bottle of pills and she turned into a big multicolored pill. Yikes. Okay, now here's a cause. Yeah, she started changing colors. Here's another cause. The old lady fed Camilla lima beans. So what happened? What was the effect? When the old lady fed Camilla the lima beans, what happened? Yeah. So the old lady fed her the lima beans and then she returned to her branches. So then here's another effect. Camilla never got a touch of stripes again. So what was the cause? What helped her not get any more stripes? What helped her not get any more stripes? You're right! Eating the lima beans. She ate her lima beans and she did not care. She was being herself. That's right. So when she was herself, then nothing bad happened again. So here's that book again. I'll let you see it. A Bad Case of Stripes. That's the title. David Shannon. That's the author. Good job, guys. Thank you very much for reading with me today. I really enjoyed reading this story with you. It's one of my favorite books, and it gives a good message to remember to always be yourself. Thank you very much. We will be back again at 12:30 this afternoon, and I will be reading a brand new story with you. So I will see you later, guys. Goodbye. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. See you at 12:30. Bye.